What's up, guys? Jamie here, and this is going to be episode 2 of No Turning Back. I used to do it in like 2010, and there was 20 episodes, but that was like 5 years ago. So I'm just counting this as episode 2. I guess it could be like season 2, episode 2. But what we're going to do for next week is we're going to have a mini Q&A. So if you want to leave us questions down below and what you want to see on the show next. And then at the end, we'll have a question of the week for you guys. So, as always, I'm with my co-host. Would you like to introduce yourself? Which they should already know who you are, but...
What's up, everybody? Man's Reality in the house, as always. And I was just thinking of something. I should have said this off the air, but it literally just popped into my head during the introduction. But you could make this whole revamp No Turning Back thing easier on yourself if you just called it No Turning Back 2.0. Because the original No Turning Back didn't have consistent co-host every week. So
that's true. That is true. So yeah, it's like No Turning Back 2.0, and this is episode 2 of the 2.0. So
yeah, there you go.
So we're really just we're not going to go into every match or every detail of this whole week, because the video would be incredibly long, and there's no point to doing that anyway. But so we're going to start off with Raw.
Well, actually, before we did that, you wanted to point out to the viewers, didn't you, that because of your availability and just what you're able to watch, this show is going to be entirely WWE, just because you're not able to really view the other companies on a regular basis.
Yes, and it's not because I'm a sheep or don't want to watch. I would love to watch ROH, to be quite honest, but I don't have those channels, and I don't have time anyway. But I have time to watch WWE, so I have time to watch like Raw and NXT. That's pretty much it. But anyway, first off, we're going to start off with Raw. So the 3 main things that we really want to talk about on Raw. You can start off, Raz.
Well, should we go in order, or should we just get our rant out of the way first?
Rant out of the way first.
Okay, that match between Cena and Ziggler was arguably one of the best U.S. Open Challenge matches ever. It was amazing. Took your breath away. Why did it take place at 9:25? Why was it not the main event? Because that's what we thought. Our brain was actually playing tricks on us during texting. We actually thought that Raw was about ready to end when the match.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm not even joking you. I was like, oh, because I was really, really tired. Not because like I thought I was falling asleep because of Raw, but like I was just tired because it was Monday, and it was 9. I looked at the clock and it was 9:38, and I was like, this is not the main event. Why is this not the main event? I'm not a Cena fan. I'm a big Dolph Ziggler fan. I love Ziggler, but oh my gosh, those two together in the ring, fantastic, and I like how Cena is facing guys like Ziggler, and how he faced Kevin Owens and all those types of guys. But I literally, getting back to what I was saying, thought it was like 10 something. And I was like, oh, we get to go to bed. I don't know, well, at least me, I get to go to bed in a few minutes. But no, it was only 9:30, and it was like, great, we have another like hour and something minutes to go.
Yeah, and we talked about last week, and we talked about it on separate videos for both our channels before we started to do this. The best thing about the U.S. Open Challenge is the way that it's raised Cena's profile. Like, even you cannot like his character, but there isn't anybody now that can say Cena can't wrestle, or I can't stand Cena from a talent standpoint because of what this U.S. Open Challenge did. But what this match showed me, and what I would like to get your opinion on, is that the detriment to it may be the fact that the matches are so strong and so good that it kills anything that comes after it. Because they didn't make it the main event, and we had to struggle off the air to remember the rest of Raw. So
yeah,
what's your opinion on that? If they're going to continue to do these, should they always be the main event? Is too much focus being put on this and not enough on anything else? Or
I think that these types of matches shouldn't be every single week, but there's nothing wrong with having it once in a while. And I also think that they should save it towards the end, because once you have something so good and so special, it's hard to like concentrate or focus after that, or like focus on anything else. So for instance, I mean, like what happened at WrestleMania 30 with the streak ending. Now that's obviously nowhere near on on that level, but like Daniel Bryan won the title after that, and like all we would focus on is the streak ending. So I feel like, when there's so much special stuff on the show, it's hard to focus on other things.
Right, and the whole year.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there's a ways to balance stuff like that out. But go ahead.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I thought you were done there. I'm sorry, but what I was just to go off what you were saying, I completely agree with that analogy because that whole year was supposed to be about Daniel Bryan. That was the moment that we've been spending an entire year waiting for, and barely anybody remembers it when they talk about WrestleMania 30 now.
Because all you think is like the streak ending. You don't even, you go, oh yeah, that's when Daniel Bryan won the title, So I mean, it was kind of off topic, but I was trying to like make a bit of a comparison. So like when you have good matches like that, I feel like you should either save them for a pay-per-view or at least, like much later in the show. Because if you do everything at the beginning, no one cares at the end of the show.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I mean, the whole point of the U.S. Open Challenge is obviously to do it every week, but they should always make it the main event. If they're going to put on these type of matches, if they're going to give Cena like a throwaway opponent, like a Stardust or something, then middle of the show is fine. But if you're going to put on a freaking 5-star match every week, don't exhaust the audience by trying to give them more after a 5-star match. Because that was a 5.
That's literally, it was literally at the beginning of the show. Is like, it ended at like 9:38. And I also wanted to point out, I like how I'm not even a Cena fan, but like I like how the guys he's facing are like, I mean, they're not like 20, but like the younger talents, you know what I mean? Like the Cesaros and the Kevin Owens and the Zigglers who weren't really getting a push before, and now like, he's got to face Cena, and I like how it's kind of like elevating them.
Exactly. I mean, Cena's doing his job as a veteran, trying to establish the future of the company.
I like how they're doing that. They need to do that more because guys like Taker, obviously Cena's not going to be here forever. Taker's definitely not going to be here in very much longer. So like you need to elevate guys like that so that, there is a future.
Absolutely. I love everything about the U.S. Open Challenge, whether you're a Cena fan or not. But you got to give Cena credit for one other thing on Raw. I got to quickly talk about how much he embraced the all-state crowd in Chicago. When he came out and did his entrance, he was even dancing with the hater as the hater was chanting, "John Cena sucks," and he was sitting there dancing alongside him. That was probably the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
And I think this is completely off topic, but I think the reason why they like to boo Cena is just because it's fun. Like it's not even that they don't like him; it's just fun to sometimes chant along to it.
I mean, you did it in a way for the same type of reasons at MSG, correct?
Yeah. I was going Cena, like I was chanting along, John Cena sucks along to his theme song, but like I think he's been doing really well, and I love what he does for like Make-A-Wish and everything. So
yeah. Well, before we continue with the matches, this is what we forgot about off the air. Let's talk about the fact that somebody got married.
Oh yeah, I was just about to mention that. That's what I thought you were about to mention too. But I like how Cena acknowledged it. And then can you imagine, like people ask you, oh, where did he propose to you? On Raw, in the middle of a John Cena match, no big deal or anything. Right. Like it wasn't even like out in the street or the beach or wherever you normally propose to someone. It was at a WWE event in the middle of a John Cena match.
Yeah, if two wrestling fans are going to get married, there's arguably no better way to do a proposal except at a WrestleMania. I mean,
true.
That was amazing. And you're very rarely going to get the wrestlers' attention in a way that they're going to like break the momentum of the match. But give that guy credit because he knew what he was doing and he was hoping for yes because he made a sign that said, she said yes. He held it up Cena saw it, whispered to Dolph, and they stopped the entire match to acknowledge it. So
That must have been so amazing. They must have been like, that is my favorite episode right there, and they must have that on their like saved somewhere.
Yeah, they're gonna have that saved for life for sure. I mean that,
I know,
and entire both sides of their family as well. I mean that was just the last thing you would ever expect to see. So congratulations to them, and that did my heart good.
Yes, getting completely off topic though, what you were talking about, I think it'd be a lot harder at Mania because like there's like 80,000 fans there usually at those events. So, but anyway, that was totally getting off topic. What would you like to mention about Raw next?
Well, I think the only other thing that I really took away from Raw was going back to what I said last week. Like this whole Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns thing, it's got to end at Hell in a Cell because they put Roman Reigns in there against Braun Strowman, and it's like, okay, Roman Reigns beat Braun Strowman again, or it's a variation of these guys facing off again. It's just losing all of its luster that it was supposed to have. It's making it really, really hard for me to care about this feud because it's
right. They've been doing that with a lot of the feuds. Sorry to cut you off or talk over you. They've been doing that with quite a lot of the feuds. You know, for a while they had like what did they have? They have a lot of those same matches on house shows too, and then they'll do it all Raws up until like the pay-per-view, and then they have that actual match at the pay-per-view, like when they had like Sheamus versus Randy Orton for like every house show.
Yeah,
every time on Raw. They've been doing that a lot with a lot of shows. Not to say, you know, that like, I mean, like, we want something different every week, and obviously sometimes they might face, but not every single time Raw is on. Like, especially if it's at a pay-per-view, save it for the pay-per-view. There's other things to do to build up their feud.
Actually, I was in the middle of a live show, so no, not yet.
Sorry, guys, we're in a live show and can't exactly edit, and I literally thought my dad outside was going to come in and say hi, but no, he didn't. So sorry about Raj's thing. That's what happened to us last, like, a week, the first episode. My dad said hi or something.
Yeah, we just need to sign on doors as live.
So we don't come in. Okay, so whatever you were just talking about, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I mean, there's ways to do feuds without, you know, oversaturating them. I mean, I think that's the whole reason that the Wyatt family exists the way they do, is to get somebody in the ring besides Bray. But at the same time, when Bray's been facing the same guy for what feels like 20 years, it's just time to quit, you know?
I mean, not to say that I'm the most creative person in the entire world and I know, like, everything about the business, but, like, we don't need to see the match 1,000 times, you know?
Yeah.
A couple times is enough. And especially if they're going to face at another pay-per-view, like I just repeated, like, we don't need to see it on Raw.
Yeah. And as far as the rest of Raw goes, I mean, the main event, quote unquote, the lumberjack match with Kane and Seth, that is what it is. I mean, they're just trying to build toward that match. And with the way that Kane's playing both roles, like, it just makes sense for them to, they have to continue that momentum there. The only thing that really bothered me about what happened this week is it just seemed like it was pointless. It could have been written better because they made it too obvious that Kane was going to be the demon Kane at the end. And apparently my dog has been trapped.
That scared me. Sorry.
Sorry, folks. Hold on one second.
We are all lives.
Yeah, they've.
So anyway, I'll just talk over that. But I honestly was not like, I love Kane. I love his split personalities. I love Seth Rollins, but, like, I was not into the match at all. Not interested at all.
Yeah, the pay-per-view I think will be fine.
Yeah, no, because it'll be, you know, like Hell in a Cell and all. But what I mean, like, I love Kane and everything, and I love those two.
Yeah.
But I was not interested at all. Like, I also didn't think the lumberjack match was that interesting either. And like you said, I was agreeing. It was kind of obvious, there was like no one else to put in anyway. But
right. I mean,
it's like, oh, it'll just be Kane,
If Kane had somebody else in his corner, then maybe I could see somebody else. If there was somebody else that wanted a piece of Seth, but it was just too obvious. But folks, good news. The dog has officially been untrapped from the room, so no more dog barking. Sorry about that. But
that's what happens when you're live and can't edit.
Yeah,
my dad all out by now.
My dad came in to give me water and accidentally trapped my dog in my room. That's what happened there. But yeah, what I was, and now she is getting a phone call.
I thought my phone was off and it wasn't.
You know what? This is just the I'm turning back 2.0 blooper hour right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far so that is what it is. There's not really too much you can say about it. I do think though, even though I'm kind of enjoying what they're doing with Kane, I do think that scenario on Raw proved that it needs to be a one and done feud. Like, I don't want to see this go on beyond Hell in a Cell. I don't know how you feel about it, but
no, I don't either. I love those two, but like, do other things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of feuds and everything where I only want to see it once. I mean, maybe like once or twice, but like, please don't do the same thing up 5,000 times. There's one match, obviously, in particular, I'm pointing at him right now, where I don't want to see a fourth one.
Right.
That'll be over and done with after Hell in a Cell. So.
And if you don't know who she's talking about, just look at her name, folks. But yeah, I hear you. And the only other thing that I really took away from Raw, other than the whole WWE acknowledging Lana and Rusev's engagement, so I guess those two have to end up together on camera at some point. But we also,
I think a lot of people are also getting sick of that storyline too. Like,
yeah, we were getting sick of that anyway. So we talked about that last week. It's better for the two of them to be together on screen.
Yes, Lana's so much better as a heel. Love her either way, but she is so much better as a heel. But that's getting kind of off topic.
Yeah.
But I used to be able to like not to sound like a sheep, but I used to like know everything that happened on Raw. I mean, not like every little detail, like Kane was wearing like orange socks, but like so like
that would have been really interesting.
Like, not that I knew like every little detail, but like I remembered everything. Like, oh, I'm making this up. Seth faced John Cena in the opening match, and the main event was New Day and the Dudley Boys. Like, I used to be able to like remember everything. Now I can't take away anything from what happened.
Yeah, we're gonna cover New Day and the Dudley Boys when we get closer to Hell in a Cell, because I actually have a lot to say about that, but I don't want to waste too much time on that and ramble. But I do want to talk quickly about what they did with the whole Paige and Charlotte and Becky thing. I thought it was really cool the way the Paige quote unquote cost them the match, because it's again continuing the slower build and again continuing Paige's split personality, which I'm really enjoying her split personality. Like, one minute she hates everybody's guts, the next minute she loves Charlotte and Becky and wants to stay with them. I just really find this entertaining. I don't know why.
Her character right now is perfect. I love it. I like, we're calling it a split personality. Like, she plays like, oh, woe is me, and then like she just turns and like, turns on you. But also, can I just say, I love how we're seeing Natalya. I love her. I love Paige, don't get me wrong. I love some other divas too. But Natalya is my queen. I love her so much.
I completely agree. I thought she should have been a key cog in this whole quote-unquote Divas Revolution thing, because she had that amazing match with Charlotte in NXT when Charlotte was in NXT, so it just would have made sense. But yeah, I'm glad it's happening now. I mean, there's nothing about it. This is how times have changed, folks. There's way more to complain about with the rest of WWE than there is to complain about the Divas division. The Divas division,
And we're usually complaining about the Divas
yeah,
division.
the Divas division,
Not the other way around.
yeah, the Divas division has nothing wrong with it, whereas everything else kind of does. So
Right.
that's just crazy.
Right. And of all people to be kind of interested in the Divas match, you know that they must be doing something right. Like usually when the Divas are on, I like, not to be TMI, but like I usually gotta go to the bathroom or I go get a snack or something. So one time I was really thirsty or I needed to go to the bathroom and there was a Divas match on and I was like, no, why does the Divas have to be getting so much better? I need to pee. But yeah,
Right.
the Divas are actually interesting.
Yeah, so I think are we done with Raw right now?
Yeah, we could just wrap it up. Nothing else really happened.
Yeah, I don't really remember. I mean, the viewers will correct us if we're off base, I'm sure. But that's all I can take away from Raw. So there was literally nothing to take away from SmackDown. We saw zero advancing of any of the major storylines this week, which actually I think is being done on purpose because it was a story that broke this week. I don't know if you saw this, Jamie, or not, but there was a story that broke actually today that Jerry Lawler was quoted as saying that WWE is completely setting up for SmackDown to return to USA Network in the next couple of months, or well, to debut, I should say, on USA Network, to leave Sci-Fi, and at that point, SmackDown will not only be relevant again, but it may be 100% live, which is what we've always wanted. We said if you tape SmackDown, there's no point in watching SmackDown.
Because you got spoilers. I literally could go on, or both of us right now. Sorry to keep interrupting you. But we could go on right now and read word for word what happened on SmackDown, which, you know, there's no point. And I really hope when it goes on the USA channel that it like gets, you know, like revamped and it becomes relevant again, because SmackDown used to be fantastic. If you couldn't go to Raw, I would always look forward to going to SmackDown because I knew it would be just as good.
Right. The only change I would make, and we've talked about this before, especially if you're going to have 4 hours of strong live TV, cut out an hour of Raw. Turn Raw back to 2 hours because 4 hours of strong live TV is hard enough, let alone 5 a week.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I love WWE and all, but like sometimes I can't sit through 3 hours. I really can't.
Yeah, so 5.
Doesn't matter what it is, I can't sit through 3 hours.
5 a week, I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
As long as you make it like very, very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
Like the pay-per-view and then the Raw after can't be the only thing that's ever interesting about WWE. So
right.
Hopefully they like do something totally different on SmackDown, you know? Because usually like what everyone normally says is SmackDown is just a repeat of what happened on Raw.
And it literally was this week. There was nothing. There was no advancement to anything. And that's just sad. So
because SmackDown used to be like amazing, but
yeah. I literally could have not watched it this week. That's how bad it is.
I haven't watched SmackDown in forever, so I have no idea, but I know that there's nothing to watch on it anyway.
Yeah. So,
but anyway, NXT, right?
NXT, yes. There is a reason we are saving NXT for last because, as always, it's the strongest show of the week. We saw the debut finally of Nia Jax after all this build-up with her. I thought she looked like the possible new version of Awesome Kong. I thought she looked great. I'm looking forward to her future. And the really interesting thing is we finally got a number one contender to the NXT title named.
Can I point something out?
Yes.
I like though how what's her name that just debuted? I'm horrible with names.
Nia Jax.
I like how she's not like the typical diva though. That's
yes.
what I also like about her so far.
Yes.
But go ahead.
But yeah, we got another new number one contender to Finn Balor's NXT championship name in Apollo Crews, and not Samoa Joe. That kind of surprised me that it looks like they're going to go with Tyler Breeze versus Samoa Joe and Apollo Crews already versus Finn Balor, because it's always difficult.
I like him
when you've got two faces going at each other. So I'm wondering, are they going to turn Finn heel during this feud? Like, what's going to happen here? But yeah, like you said, I love Apollo Crews. Nothing he can do wrong right now.
I love Balor. I love him.
And I love Balor. So you can't go wrong.
More and more people are starting to grow on me. I just need to learn names. That's
Yes.
what I need to learn right
Yeah.
now.
So
I've been doing really well. I've watched NXT this week and last week, and I think the week
before, so it's 3 straight weeks.
3 straight weeks. I'm doing well.
It helps that we're always in a call together, usually by 7 at night. So when it gets to 8 o'clock, I can say, Jamie, it's time for NXT.
Jamie, it's time for an NXT. Okay, time to turn it on.
And then you're like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So what we really wanted to talk about though was Bayley. Bayley. She is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I love her. I'm obsessed with her so far. And go ahead.
Yeah, well, we didn't get a chance because we thought we were going longer than what we did last week. We didn't get a chance to really talk about the history that Bayley and Sasha made at TakeOver Respect. I mean, that match would not have happened, as early as 2 years ago. There's no way that you can even fathom 2 women going at each other for 30 minutes. So,
and like in it, like Iron Man match, you don't see that. You just don't see that.
No. So I mean, they've raised the bar unbelievably well, and Bayley now is in the position of, and this is what people have worried about with her character, and now that she is champion, now that the underdog story's over, and she's champion, can she carry another performer? So what we're gonna find out is that if that's the case or not, because they started the feud with her and my girl from C-Bus. For those of you that don't know, I'm from Ohio, so my Columbus girl, Alexa Bliss.
She seems like a pretty sweet heel, though.
Yeah, she's a great heel. So I'm really looking forward to that feud, and I can't wait to see what happens there. But what I wanted to talk about,
sorry to interrupt you. They both seem like, well, obviously Bayley is, but they both seem like really talented wrestlers.
They are.
Especially besides Bayley, especially the other one that's heel.
Yeah, Alexa's
the good one.
Alexa's amazingly talented. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that feud that we'll probably see concluded
before you talk again. I think about Bayley, it just kind of depends how they book her too, because the wrestlers are only, do as best as what they're given, and it's not their fault, if they're given a crappy storyline or a crappy character. So hopefully they continue to book her right, because she's a talented wrestler, and they could go really far with her. So go ahead, continue what you were saying.
Well, this week's subject of the week, I guess, because Jamie used to have a topic of the week in 1.0, which is, we said we'd get back to that. So here it is this week. For me, and she agreed, by the way, this is a partnership. Nobody says we're going to do something without the other person agreeing on it.
Right.
But this week's slam of the week, topic of the week, question of the week, whatever you want to call it, is, does Bayley have the potential to be the biggest women's star that WB has ever had? And what I mean by that is she is so overly popular, not just with females, but with males, that
of all ages,
that if she is booked correctly, we could see her reach levels of a John Cena or a Daniel Bryan or a Stone Cold Steve Austin in terms of popularity in the way that everybody loves them, no matter who they are. And I think she absolutely does. I don't think there's anything Bayley can do wrong right now. They just cannot send her to the main roster and screw up the essential part of her character, which is this relatable every woman overcoming the odds, making her dream come true. Been dreaming about this since I was 12 years old girl. As long as she continues to be that girl, she will forever be popular to the moon. It's if she gets to the main roster and suddenly becomes something that she's not, that she will have a problem.
Right. And it all depends on the creative team and how they book her. And I just wish they would book NXT like they do. You know what I mean? I wish since Triple H works with NXT, I wish that's what they were doing on the main of Raw and stuff, because NXT is so much better. And that's a whole nother video.
Yeah, well,
that's hours of another video.
Well, I think that may be the poll or topic of the week for next week. Maybe is why Triple H should be in control of the entire creative instead of Vince.
So yeah, the question of the day, like Raz said, where do you think Bailey will go after
Do you
this?
think Bailey's strong momentum will continue? But you didn't really answer the question other than saying, depending on how they book her. What's your take on Bailey? Do you think I'm right, or do you think that's like over exaggerating in terms of how popular she could be if she's done right?
No, I do agree with you on that. It depends, but she's already very, very popular. So can you imagine if they book it right, how amazingly popular she would be? She's already really talented, so.
Yeah. So there you go. There's our opinion on that. Bailey the next, or potentially the biggest. I'm not talking about wrestler because, we're not discounting anything Trish and Lita done. You can't do that. I'm not discounting anything Alundra Blaze has done. You can't do that. I'm not discounting Fabulous Moolah. You can't do that. I'm talking about pure star power and memory that, sticking with people for the rest of their lives, of the history of this sport, the way that certain guys do. I think Bailey has that potential to do that if she's done right. And you agree?
Right. Yes, I do. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. So whatever our question of the day is, you can comment down below. You can also ask us questions because we want to do a mini Q&A next show.
Yeah, tweet at Jamie Loves Taker or at Razman's Reality. And
down in the comments, you can do that too. Answer about our mini Q&A, our question of the day, and what you want to see more on this show. So anything you would like to add before we close out?
No, just that I'm enjoying doing this show, and I look forward to next week. And yeah, you guys, that's the other thing.
By the way, on Monday I'm doing a live Undertaker reaction video, so you need to watch out for your subscriptions and watch out for on my social media because you'll get to see me react live to him.
Yeah, it's much easier for you to do it this way than try to grab your camera like the whole entire Raw. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, pretty much.
But yeah, I was just gonna say what you said in the beginning that we forgot to say, which was you guys down below in the comments and through social media, you let us know what you would like to see in future episodes. Like, would you like to see a third or fourth person brought on, like a guest each week, which I think we're working toward maybe, or what question of the week would you guys like us to talk about? What's your topic of the week?
Yep. Comment all down below.
Yeah.
Ask us anything about wrestling.
Yeah, we're open wrestling books for sure. So yeah, I think that does it. So
all right. Bye guys.
Later.
Ooh. Bye.